my very first time streaming on multiple platforms at the same time. Okay, I know that sounds not that special, but it's still interesting to me. So I want to make sure that everything is working well on both platforms. I don't even know how to run Kick, if I'm being honest. But I heard the monetization plan was pretty good on Kick. So it's working on Twitch as usual. Oh, I'm not sure it's working. Hold on. I guess I'm still learning. You know, I got that Death Note the musical song stuck in my head. Like, I literally cannot stop thinking about it. Where is the justice? And you know, it was so funny because my coworker mentioned today, like, oh, like, what are you singing? Because I sing at work. I've already mentioned this, but it is working. I can't see it on my phone though. Like, that's the weird thing. Like, it won't let me. Okay. So my coworker asked, like, oh, where is this from? And I was like, oh, it's from Death Note the musical. You know, like, it's pretty good. And I rate it an 8 on 10 if anybody's ever seen it. So, yes. It's working on both platforms now. I'm going to put my iPhone down because my iPhone has Kick on it, but my Google Pixel has the Twitch. I hope everyone's coming safely. I'm like picking an outfit because I want to wear Elemental Harmony because I know it's going to get real. So I'm going to quickly change my look with better armor this time. Because before I just didn't have it. The corporations make the regulations and hold no one accountable when everything goes wrong. Okay. And then I finally got these lights to work again, so we're gonna, oh, that's so cute. I love this bear bag. It doesn't match this outfit, but I'm gonna still wear it anyway. I fixed my staff as well. So I should be able to honestly do this better. Wait, what happened? Oh, I need to click this. Begin the pursuit. I don't know why my iPhone is still, like, I can hear it. The corporations make the regulations. Okay, everything should be up and running fully. Okay, Treasure Hunter said he saw someone running towards Scarif. Oh, I need to do the... Whoever it was impressive they managed to shake the keen treasure hunter off their trail. The object he gave you is sure to aid you in your pursuit. It looks passingly familiar, almost like you've seen it before. But for the present, head to Scarif. No! My mouse fell and it closed this. Yeah, I knew that wasn't gonna work. I still did it. Hi, Plus. How are you today? I love how the music just stopped. I don't know why they can't do it, like, constantly. Wow, I look like a goober. I'm, like, running into the wall. Okay. So I was finally able to fix, like, the light error. So I should be able to see glowing specks on the floor now. Working on G25? Yep. G25! That's an extremely long one. I already know, man. Is it longer than 22 though? Not 22, 23? 23 was like torture for me. No, it was 22 that was worse. 22 was like too much. I'm scared when you say it's like pretty bad. Like pretty long. Something feels strange. You pull out a small gem fragment and expect it. The gem is reacting to something lingering nearby. You feel certain that repeating these steps will lead you in the right direction, but something feels off. These traces seem almost to be more of a breadcrumb trail meant to be followed. G25 is worse. No, that's scary. Uh-oh. Nearby monsters have been drawn in by uncanny vibes being given off and are closing in. What? Uncanny vibes? That's strange. Oops. Let me cast Hailstorm. Get away from me. I love that I'm just so much stronger with Elemental Harmony. Especially when you play for when you don't play for a while. Oh no. With the Elemental Harmony, like you just do like other armor, you can really feel a difference when you get back to Elemental Harmony. You dealt with a swarm of monsters. You feel the small gem fragment radiating a gentle warmth in your hand. It feels as though it contains a familiar power. Keep moving forward as you feel the signs of your quarry. You're certain that the trail will eventually lead to whoever left them behind. Keep moving further in. Is it tedious? It's not so bad if it's long and not tedious. But like I think G24 was a little bit too much. The new lead, Whoosh of the Wind. Like some of these quests seem longer than they really are because of just how tedious they are. Like G22 had like, you had to literally go across the map to find 7 people in a specific order. Like that was too much. Like I had to draw a line. Oh, plus, are you a streamer as well? Work time lurk. And thank you so much, Ronnie, even for coming in. Let me follow you. Hold on. Because I didn't even know. Recently streamed categories, Mabinogi. Ooh. Mabby is a fun game. Yep, but stream is very late times for most people. Oh, when do you stream? Get away from me! Even though you're adorable. Okay, you're not as adorable when you poison me. He's running like a Naruto character. 1:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Wait, is that Pacific Standard Time? What is PT? So 8:30 p.m. NZT for me. What is NZT? Is that like New Zealand time? New Zealand. That has to be New Zealand. Okay. Yeah, I'm very bad at geography and like just generally anywhere. I'm gonna use this recover potion because I know I will not use it after, like, before the event ends. New Zealand, 1:30 a.m. PT. I'm trying to think. I think that would be midnight for me. Hold on. You said 1:30. a.m. PT to... Oh shoot, that's 4 a.m. for me. 4:30. If I'm ever up that late, I'll come. But yeah, that is a really late time for me. Or really early. Where am I going? I'm the one looking like a goober, completely off the trail. Okay, it should be up here, I think. No. Yes. This is why you need the shining light thing. Because at first it was on the path. You could do it at first. But in the middle of, like, here? Come on now. And you have to be, like, so close to it. What time is it now for you, Plus? Is it like really early or really late? You don't close your eyes and shoot. About 9 a.m. That's pretty nice. Caswin! Yes, let's bring back the Divine Knights. You sense a familiar gaze observing you from a nearby hilltop. This music is cool. I like it. Wait, where am I going? Caswin. The man sees you. The man you see look. Oh, sorry. You did well to follow me here. The long silence is finally broken as he speaks in a somewhat dour tone. You tracked down Caswin in this way once before. He must have been the one who was eavesdropping on the aces. Ask why he was eavesdropping. You asked him why he was spying on you and the aces in Belvast. Hello, Temmie! Thank you so much again for the sub. How are you? I'd like to ask you this. He ruminates broodingly for a moment, then solemnly poses a question to you. Are you certain that they deserve your trust? Nod your head. What are we... Caswin, what are you doing? You recall each of the aces one by one. All have proved themselves helpful, trustworthy companions. You give a firm nod, making your feelings on the matter clear. Very well, I understand. I'm concerned about the ones who appear to be their leader. He can be, well, rather aggravating, to put it mildly. How's G25 going? It's going good.
Miro-sama.
I need to do this generation still, trying to slog my way through all the ones I've missed over the last 11 years. Returning player. I've been playing pretty consistently over the years, so thankfully I don't have a lot. So I still was pretty horrible at doing the story, I won't lie. Even though I've been playing like for a long time. I was playing starting when I was a kid. So my attention span was pretty bad. Like G1, 2, and 3, I entirely skipped. I have no idea what the story happened in G1 and 2 and 3. I just remember that Rory was kind of a goober, and I liked Tarlock. And then I did like little bits of like all the generations up till Saga. And then I stopped doing generations around Saga. And then now I'm getting back. G1, 2, 3 are the ones you really know. We're opposites, because as a kid I had no like attention span. I was not about to read anything. And G25 is going pretty good. It's not so bad so far, but I heard from Plus that it's really long. I'm concerned about the one who appears. Okay, yeah, I already read that. He lacks. He's so brutal. He lacks even a shred of divine light, yet he's somehow able to come and go from the sanctuary as he pleases. You can understand my interest and my weariness. Furthermore, something strange has been happening at the sanctuary, but you needn't pay it any mind. The Shakespeare one is where I fell off doing the generations, whatever that one was. I think it was like 14, I think. Oh, it's 13. I was close. Actually, 13 and 14 were my favorite because the story was so short and there was English voice actors. So I just had so much fun. It sounds like he's referring to the time he met Merlin in the sanctum, just as you're beginning to wonder why he asked about the aces. Caswin, is that you? And who is... Oh my gosh! Tell me it's Autumn! Tell me it's Autumn! You hear approaching footsteps and a cheery voice calls out. Penne! Or Finny, sorry. I call her Penne, like the pasta, and it's just now occurring to me that her name is not Penne, but it's Finny. She'll always be Penne to me. Logan, I didn't expect to see you here. Neither did I, Mr. Irrelevant. The entire like divine Alba and the Divine Knights, like that whole thing, I just don't focus on at all. Oops, pardon me, Finny. I let my excitement get the best of me. Logan strides into view behind Finny. They appear to have been searching for Caswin. It's alright, Logan. I'm just excited to see her as you. I trust you've been well. We were going for a quick patrol when the squires did a bit of practical training. Okay, squires, yeah. That's the squires. Alrighty, gotta get back to work. We'll leave a lurk. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for visiting. And well, here you are with Caswin. It's quite a surprise to run into you like this. Nothing happened. Is that so? That's as it seems, so I take no news as good news this time. We're more or less done with everything, Caswin. It's time to return to the gate with Penne. I mean... Yep. Well done, Logan. Even though it's your first time, you kept your cool. I remember Caswin's first training session. He was so nervous back then. That's not true. Are you sure about that? As I recall, you froze up like a startled deer and didn't say much as a word until the whole thing was over. Come on, that's a bit of an exaggeration. You peer at Logan as he stands next to you. He looks on at Caswin and Finny, with a fond amusement before whispering to you in a quiet voice. Perhaps we ought to slip back on our own? No way, Logan. You're not supposed to wander off on your own. You're supposed to travel in groups of 3 or more. Of course, that means Caswin here has also broken the rules. So I'll have to inform the commander about it when we get back. Fine. The commander's conversation with our guest seemed to be running quite long, but... Oh, did you come out here because you wanted to meet with her? If that's why you slipped away just now. What? What is this? All crappers? Is that why you slipped out? Now I'm hesitant to tell the commander for an entirely different reason. Yes! I love Eltum. I agree, the commander seems quite anxious to see you. With what the recent growth spurt, he's almost as tall as me now, and I've heard him muttering about how he can't wait to show you how much you've changed. But still, the rules are rules. Logan, Caslin, let's not delay any longer. Elsie is up next. We should not keep her waiting. Understood. Those companions of yours are doing a fine job guarding the town. The knights have yet to reach a decision, but there's a chance our paths may cross again soon. I just wanted to check in, that's all. RJ Parigi! Let me see what I can do. Hold on. Am I doing it? Am I doing a little emote for you? This little dance? That is probably one of my favorite emojis. Like that I mean emote? Like the little dance. Despite his unhurried words, there's a piercing intensity to his gaze. It dawns on you that the reason why he was observing you and the group was because of your connection to Merlin. Farewell now. You should probably head back too. Anyways, I'm going to head back now. I look forward to seeing you at the gate later. Take care on your way back. The spiders in the area are uncontrollably large. And they're territorial to boot. I know you can handle yourself, but I just wanted to warn you. I forgot to put gacha in the title. Because we're going to be doing gacha today. Let me know if there's like a specific gacha you guys want to see. I'll leave that up to you guys. If we should do the new one or the old one. Sorry. I'm curious about the new one from today's patch, but I guess they're all new to me right now. Yes. I'm kind of curious about the new one too. Actually, when I saw the new one, I thought it was an old one. Like, I was staring at it and I couldn't really figure out why. I do frequently look at the Korean gacha just to try to get ahead and see what's up for grabs, but I thought I saw that announcement already with the new gacha. I'd love to stay and chat a little longer, but I'm responsible for training the squires, and it wouldn't do to set a bad example with my tardiness. Maybe we'll get a chance to catch up later. Until then, I'll see you around. Skinny's smile is bright and earnest. She turns to accompany Logan and Caslin back to attend their duties. You've now delivered Irwin's Royal Castle Banquet invitation to the elves, the giants, and the ones who reside in Belvast. Head back to Taitayan headquarters and report to Marlied. So far I have one vote for... Should I put like a poll and then like leave it running for a while and then let whoever wants to vote? And then we can... Yeah, let me do that. I'll do a poll for you. Oops. Mod. Prediction? Is it a prediction? No, it's not a prediction. Prediction or ban requests, rewards, activity. I don't actually know how to do this. Oh wait, you can slash poll, right? Slash poll. And then let's check the gachas that are available. We have the hyperspace Aurora and open ocean. Hyperspace Aurora and open ocean. Oh wow, they don't let me do this duration for a long time. They only let me do a little bit, like 10 minutes. So I'll wait to do this poll later, like closer to the end. And then we'll head back to Marlied Teitan headquarters. Sounds good. See you soon. Oh my gosh, I'm on the wrong channel. This guy's having a fun time. Okay, Marlied. Location check. The crest of the... Okay, I'm not gonna read that. Greetings. I was just about to head to Terra. I see that you finished delivering Her Majesty's invitations to Philia, Valve, and Belvast. It's no small request to ask you to cross whole continents just to deliver a few letters, so I appreciate all the help you've given. The Elf and Giant headquarters are sending their expeditionary force representatives to Tara ahead of the banquet. Thank you, Andras. I'm headed to the royal castle myself. Her Majesty suggested I serve as a guide for Muriel and Bater while they're here. There are certain fractions within the royal court whose ire over what happened with the elves and giants has not yet abated. I figured the least I could do for the members of the expeditionary force is to ensure their safety. And with Piran there, I don't think it would be prudent to leave them alone at the castle. A troubled expression quickly. I'd love to say in chat that I have to be up in a few hours for work, so I'm a lurky turkey. Of course. And thank you so much for the hydrate. I have a water right here just in case. And let me do a little gobble for you. The lurky turkey. What does it go? It's like it's like sorry, I can't do it. I don't know how. Gobble, gobble, gobble. I tried. A troubled expression quickly passes over her face, but she quickly shakes it off and smiles. RJ Freedy is like, what am I watching? But everyone's busy preparations for the banquet. I look forward to seeing you there. I'm also invited? What? Of course you are. You should go without saying. You're practically the core of the expeditionary force. And besides, Her Majesty would be disappointed if you weren't there. That reminds me. He said that Brenda was looking for you. I didn't catch what it was she wanted to speak with you about, but you should drop by her shop and see what she wanted before you head to Terra. Thank you so much, RJ Freedy. Anyway, I'll be taking my leave now. Andras, I'll see you at the banquet. With a nod, she bids you farewell, leaving Titan headquarters. Your guess is that Brenda's inquiry is something to do with the delivery you made to her. You decide to stop by Taita and clothing store on your way to Tara. Her shiny red hair is pulled into 2 loose braids that brush alluringly across her bare back. The moles below her eyes appear more prominent against her clear porcelain skin. Oh my! She must have told you to come, didn't she? Just in time, too. I was just wrapping everything up. Remember this day well, for this is the day my masterpiece was born. Brenda puffs up her chest and declares her personal glory in a ringing voice. Upon closer examination, you notice the dark circles beneath her eyes. No doubt she's pulling all-nighters, probably for the last several nights. The thing is, as much as I loathe to admit it, her accessories are just so detailed and intricate. I knew I had to at least try to show her up, so I poured everything into my work. Phew, I didn't think I had a proper night's sleep in days. When he saw me, I was so shocked that he picked up a box of special honey drinks from Tara just for me. I've heard that the Queen is holding a huge banquet at the royal castle. Do you think that this is meant to be worn by someone who will be attending? I mean, a custom outfit like this, with this level of detail, you'd be hard-pressed not to stand out, even in a crowd as well-to-do as that. There's no way you'd miss them. Brenda grins, then saunters back into her shop. She reemerges a minute later, carrying an elegantly wrapped long box. Brenda gives you a sly wink as she presents the box to you, chatting away all the while. You know, you're always welcome to put in a special order of your own. Of course, it goes without saying that the top quality work commands a commensurate fee, but I'd be more than happy to take on a special project like this for you anytime. Phew, treat it carefully now. Ah, did I tell you where it's going? It's supposed to be delivered to the Pontiff's Court Confessional in Tara, which is certainly not what I was expecting. They ask that you exercise discretion. Pretty strange, huh? Though I confess all the secrecy is exciting. Thanks in advance, and once again, if you ever feel a passion for fashion or want to commission something special, I'm always available. Brenda gives you a bright smile as she turns back to her work. The outfit box you received from Brenda is lighter than you expected. As she told you, it needs to be delivered to the Pontiff's Court Confessional in Tara, and you have to attend the banquet in Tara anyway, so you might as well stop by while you're in town. Easy. The Pontiff's Court is a little bit interesting to do for me, because like you can the standard to enter is so funny. Okay, the confessional. Brenda gave you clear instructions to place the completed outfit inside the confessional and to do it without drawing anyone's attention. You quickly take stock of your surroundings. She appears lost in thought and seems to pay no mind. Still, perhaps it would be wise not to carry a weapon to avoid drawing any unwanted attention. Unequip your weapon and sneak into the confessional. Okay, let's see if they allow me. I don't have a weapon. I think maybe they mean in my second hand too. You carefully pry open the confessional door with such a deft touch that it swings open with nary a sound. Enter the confessional. You manage to slip into the confessional unnoticed. The musty scent of old wood hangs lightly in the air. Brenda said to leave the delivery inside the confessional. You gently place the bundle beneath a chair. With that, you've taken care of what was asked of you. Time to get back before anyone realizes you were here. But what's this? The closed door refuses to budge. The handle is so old and worn out it must have jammed. It seems like you might be able to open it with a sustained pressure or with a generous application of force. Turn it gently. You decide the handle looks too worn to withstand being opened with brute force, so you try to You decide to try and carefully ease it open. Phew, at least you hear the faint noise of metallic friction as the handle finally gives and begins to turn. But just as you're about to push the larger door open and flip out, I feel as though I have to ask once more. But will this really be alright? Oh crap. Of course, wasn't it your revelation from Limerick? Uh-oh, you hear the presence of others just outside the confessional door you were about to open. You quickly pull the door shut again as quietly as possible. I believe you are more than worthy, and I'm sure Pencast feels the same. To be honest, I'm a little scared. Will they really believe what I say? What if they don't? Corton and the unknown woman engage each other in a serious discussion on some matter of considerable import. You didn't come here to eavesdrop, but you can't help the fact that you can hear every word of their conversation through the thin door. You crack it open again, just enough to sneak a peek outside. You can't open the door too wide and risk having to explain why you're hiding there. Though the narrow slit you've made, you see someone standing in Pontiff's Court. I'm well aware that what I dreamt was no ordinary vision. My predecessor spoke of this too, and prepared me for it, but it was the first time I heard Limerick's voice with such clarity. And since that day, I haven't heard the voice speak again, so there's a part of me that's rather anxious, wondering if I truly heard what I did. Is that what's bothering you? What happened is no less significant just because it happened but a single time. In years since I first found you, your nobility and humility have proven itself without peer in the order. At one time I felt as you do now. I had no confidence to thrust you before them, even if it were Limerick's law. From the moment I take my first step beyond this place, it may be too late to turn back. But you realize that as well, Corton, don't you? I do. Going forward, things will be different than they are now, both for you and for me, but to be frank, it would not be entirely unwelcome change. Since that blessed day you were chosen by Limerick, you have spent your years secluded in sanctum, your days spent in quiet prayer, tending to the holy flames. It has often occurred to me that perhaps you would be happier out there in the world. What are you saying? I've received, by the grace of Limerick, a blessing far greater than I could have dared to hope. What I do now, I'm bound in gratitude to do. It was a divine necessity that there be to Nikind guard the holy flames, and for someone like me, who so desperately longed for the light, it was an opportunity that changed the course of my life. And all seemed well enough until recently, but in order to prevent the day of reckoning revealed to me in my vision, I must go forth and see it done myself. Of course, I will do my utmost to prevent such a calamitous event from coming to pass in the first place. I see you've made up your mind. I'll ensure that all the necessary preparations are ready for the banquet. Pencast will be waiting outside. We can speak to him together for appearance's sake. We should inform him that we'll be appointing someone from our order. Seeing as you've already set the plans into motion, I presume that you've already anticipated my decision. Honestly, I'm kind of vibing. Like, I don't know what's going on, really. Because to me, Pontiff's Court is not, like, the best, if I'm being honest. Like, they're always, like, kind of throw a wrench into our plans. But this seems kind of cool. Like, I'm vibing with the characters right now. But Corton, will they truly accept our offer? The royal court will be in no position to refuse, given the presence of so many dignitaries from around the continent. There's no better moment than now to finally reveal yourself for all to see. This is your chance to legitimize your position as never before. I see. But once I arrive at the banquet, will they really trust me? It won't be that easy to get past the guards. Thank you so much for the lurk, Loot. Where did you get your VTuber model done? If you don't mind me asking, it looks well done. You think so? I made it myself. Yeah. You know, to be honest, I'm a little disappointed in this model. But if you like it, it makes me happy. Yes. Now I'm like blushing. Like, oh, thank you. It means a lot. But yes, I made it. Do you want to be a VTuber? Oh, that looks cool. Way cheaper than what I was looking at. Yes, for sure. Honestly, I think for mid-range, I think I remember one VTuber saying they paid like to get a mid-range model with like all the faces and all that you need, it's like 1,000 up. I think it'd be neat to get my Mabby character modeled up. That's what, you know, initially that's what I wanted to do, but I change my outfit so frequently in game, it's like impossible. So I would have to like change my look every single time. So I decided to just do a model that looks like me. Yes, you sense someone approaching the confessional and squeeze yourself down even tighter. I've taken the liberty of making a few preparations in advance, so all should proceed without much trouble. I also made a separate request of someone I consider reliable. I trust him to be both quick and discreet. Very well. I'll leave these matters to your judgment. Fair. I almost never change my in-game outfit. Really? Like, I tried to have like a specific outfit, but I really couldn't do it. Because there's this one outfit I really think is so adorable, and it like matches my vibe, like how my aesthetic. And then even with that one, I had to like change. And then immediately afterward, I changed to something that is so not my like usual aesthetic, but I still think is beautiful. Very well. I leave those matters to your judgment. Personally, I like the holy look, like the almost angelic. But then immediately after I had this like beautiful angelic outfit I liked, I was like, let's switch to Death Herald. I don't know why, but I don't know, I can't stay in the same thing too long. Shall we inform Pentacast that we've reached a decision? Very well. Let's go. The room falls quiet as a pair of footsteps slowly grow distant and fade away. Further out, you hear the heavy doors of the Pontiff's court swing open, then close once more. The coast is finally clear. Time to make your exit. Actually, this was a really fun mission. Like, I like that cutscene. I think it was well done. This outfit, I really love this one. Had the same gaudy yellow flashy bear robe and tail cap since the year 1 of Alexina. I guess I do change out of it sometimes though. I like this one. And I like this one. Like, something about it is just so nice to me. But then also, like, randomly I have like moments where I'm like, yeah, let's be a magical alchemist, or oh, I love this one too. Like, you see, like, I love ballet, and I was trying to make a ballet outfit, like one Clara, because my favorite ballet is the Nutcracker, so I wanted to do Clara. I still haven't found a cheap dress that I can use for Clara though. And there's just like so many outfits to pick from. Like, I can't even. Oh, I like this one too. And then if you factor in all the animations as well, like, it's hard to pick one. I don't have style tab right now though, so I'm just making do. And I wanted this bear. I think this bear is adorable. I know it doesn't match my outfit, but you know, we're gonna make do. Talk to this guy in the royal kitchen. Okay. I'm like trying to think of the least complicated way to do this. When I was little, I really loved Now. So I tried everything to look like Now that I could. And I still like Now, it's just I'm not as obsessive as I was in the past. Now I like developed like my own style. And then there was at some point when I was like, I don't know, like, it's hard to say, like maybe when I was preteen, I had this like, instead of like white and black like Now, I wanted to go purple and brown. I don't really know why, and I'm lost. Okay, here. So I had this like Chinese New Year outfit. It's like this one. This Chinese 7th anniversary outfit. I got this one like pretty new. I'm not sure if people still have it, really, actually. I don't see people wear it anymore. And then I had this like this hair. I don't really know why. But that was what I paired like when I was younger, and that was like my set outfit. And then as I was like in high school and in early college, what is he doing here? I wanted to do that on my alt, then I realized that's too hard, so I wanted to give now all the outfits. That was also too hard. Yeah, because you needed VIP, and to do that was just like too much. Cooking is everything. Okay. Well then, if it isn't her, the hero of but even the most famous of heroes is no match for the legendary chef of the royal castle, Royal Castle in his element. Fair enough. He scowls in your direction as his hands move to prepare ingredient after ingredient with mechanical precision. I'm sure you're aware that the banquet will be starting soon, and with the guests of all races in attendance, what finer stage could a chef ask for to showcase his talents? Even she will have no choice but to acknowledge my virtuosity. Still, the largest feast anyone has held in years, even with all my hands on deck, including the trainees, for whom this will be a trial by fire like no other. I can't help but feel like something may still go wrong. It's so hard to get good help around the kitchen, and to complicate things further, I'm still in need of a dish that will really wow and impress. The special X factor that will be by its inclusion, elevate the spread upon the table with excellence to peerlessness. As he crosses his arms and grumbles to himself, his gaze happens to fall on you, and you can almost see his plan forming in his mind's eye. You shiver as the feeling of dread creeps up your spine. Somehow you know what's coming. You! Yes, I'm talking to you. You know your way around the kitchen, don't you? Not really. Thank you for the thought, but no. Ah, that's right. I remember now how many times you've battled valiantly to create fine food, toiling over the iron cookpot to make a gourmet dish. As a senior chef in the royal kitchen, I hereby grant you the privilege of adding a dish of your choice to the banqueting table. Now surely you must be reeling at the mere thought of such an incredible honor. I can hear your heart pounding from here, but steel yourself, for a chef has no time for revie when there are hungry patrons to feed. For a moment you allow yourself to imagine, my friend, an elegant culinary masterpiece created by you with your own two hands, hanging on the forks of every leader, dignitary, and socialite in attendance. Imagine winning the hearts and taste buds in equal measure. Superior diplomacy through good food. What are you talking about? That does sound exciting. I'm gonna say that does sound exciting. Because, you know, in real life, you can't just shoot this guy down and say, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, when he puts it like that, it does sound like a pretty amazing opportunity. You picture your culinary masterpiece being served at a banquet, earning compliments from humans, elves, and giants alike. Well, it's quite the thrilling prospect, isn't it? I knew you'd agree. But enough of imagination. Now it's time for action. Bring me a dish worthy of a hero, a bold, visionary dish, handmade by none other than the hero of... Just to clear the requirements, it must absolutely be a dish you made yourself. Don't even think about making a monkey out of me by buying something pre-made from a store and trying to pass it off as a hero's dish. Make sure you bring no less than the greatest dish you can create. I don't want to see any half slapped together nonsense. This is going to be the plates of the richest and powerful. It needs to lift the soul close enough to hear heaven's harps. Are we clear? Come and find me once your dish is ready. I'll be the judge of its worthiness for myself. And remember, you can't fool me with half measures, so don't even try. His rant is finally done. He turns back his adrenaline-driven preparations for the banquet's dinner. It seems like you need to bring one heavenly dish you made yourself. It's probably best to avoid anything that would look out of place at a banquet table. Can I make pasta? Because, like, my first thought of a heavenly dish is pasta. I know that's kind of bad, but, like, does that count for a banquet meal? Let me check. Oh wow, you don't even have to make anything like that. Breadcrumb is the easiest dish, mixing 100% sliced bread. We can do that. I can cook breadcrumbs. Okay, let's go. Sliced bread. Can I buy bread from him? Oh no. Ooh. Oh. What? Why is he still talking to me? Okay. The finest breadcrumbs made by a hero. Yes. Yes! You understand. It just needs bread, right? Or fresh bread. Sliced bread. It needs sliced bread. This is gonna be the finest breadcrumbs anyone's ever eaten. This is goofy. It's absolutely goofy. I shouldn't be allowed to do this. Miss Macchiato is on a mission. She has all my cooking things, so I need to get her back before I do anything. The finest breadcrumbs made by a hero. I like that. Thankfully, all of these are done, so let's go. Imagine like going to a banquet and there's like so many like beautiful like mouth-watering foods, and then suddenly you see like breadcrumbs made by like, I don't know, like someone famous like Rihanna. Fenty breadcrumb. No plate or bowl. Imagine. And people are like, ah, a finger food. Miss Macchiato. I believe it's a cooking table and a knife that you need, right? Or a rolling pin? Or a ladle? I don't know. I'm so bad at cooking, I don't even know what utensils you need. Mix breadcrumb. This is goofy. This should not be a thing. Who did this? Start cooking. I made a delicious dish. Delicious or heavenly? Like, is that gonna count? What is the requirement to have a heavenly dish? Ah, so you've returned. Did you bring back a fantastic dish like I asked? Present what you've made, and I shall judge whether it's worthy of the royal table. Ah, good. I see a few things that might be worthy enough to grace the queen's table. Which of these dishes is a heroic offering you'd like to offer up to our guests? Breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs made from a stale loaf. Usually, a stale loaf. Usually used for making deep fried dishes, not edible as is. Not edible as is, and we're gonna be serving this? Okay, let's go. Looks like you found this food. This food you shoved up in my face is passable for a 4-star dish. But is this really something you want to set before a royal banquet? I feel as though I can stand at a crossroads. If I were starving, would I eat this? Probably. But even still, Fine. Your dish makes the cut barely. Phew. He's decided that your dish is of sufficient quality to make the cut. Hopefully the guest's enjoyment of it will equal the effort you put into making it. I love this line. Enjoyment of it will equal the effort you put into making it. There was no effort. I bought the bread from him, and then I cut it up, and then gave it back to him. We'll present this dish front and center. We'll present this dish front and center for our most honored guests. Of course, I'll make sure they know it was prepared by you. Now go and leave the rest of the preparations to me. You must get ready to join the festivities. It's about time for the banquet to begin. You decide to see if there's any other members of the expeditionary force that are at the castle yet. I thought this was my part for a second. I won't lie, that was a whole goofy interaction, but I'm vibing with it. I'm glad they made like an easy option for goobers like me. The royal castle has sure been bustling with people lately, thanks to your ongoing preparations for the banquet. The queen is even busier than usual. As for me, Piran. Talk to Piran in the royal castle, floor 1. Okay, so I'm already on the first floor, so I'm gonna just go out. Hopefully it's not like in the forest. Like outside of the building. No. I'm going the wrong way. Isn't his smile so cute? I love his smile. It's so elegant and pretty. Oh, he's like randomly here. Like, I was like, what? Why did they lead me to a dead end? I don't know why he's doing here though. Piran. Well, I'm sorry. I just wanted to be somewhere quiet, just for a moment. Oh. Both of Piran's arms are bent over his head in an almost defensive posture. You gently tap him with one hand and wait for him to calm down. Fancy meeting you here. What brings you here today? Oh, yeah, you're probably here for the banquet, right? That would make sense. You are the leader of the expeditionary force, after all. There's been so much going on at the royal castle lately. Muriel and him already arrived, and Muriel's been busy helping Her Majesty get ready. Krypton! Hello! What brings me here? You! Hello! Hello! You know, I started greeting the customers that show up at my job by going, hello! Like, not even in, like, a regular, like, voice, but, like, a Kermit accent for, like, no reason. Nice. Piran's voice trails off and his expression darkens. His persistently cheery smile seems to have vanished without a trace, leaving behind only a look of tired resignation. As for me, well, I figured the best thing I could do is to keep myself so I don't end up getting in anyone's way. A crowd of people moves through the hallway near the room where you and Piran are standing. Judging by the sound of your voices, they're clearly quite excited for the banquet. There hasn't been a banquet this big in a long time. Is it true that Her Majesty really sent invitations all the way to the giants and elves in area? Shh! Keep your voice down. I understand how you feel, but you'll never know what ears may be listening. Now that she's gathered them all here, perhaps Her Majesty will finally see fit to address those rumors. What rumors? Oh, you mean oh no. Oh, you mean regarding the Order of Heinrich? Oh, Piran, why does he have to be here when everybody is talking trash about him? Like, by now everyone knows about how that terrible dragon appeared at the castle. My brother was there and he saw it with his own eyes. But the Queen's reaction has been strangely muted, to say the least. By all rights, she should at least be bringing the kingdom's iron gauntlet down on a lot of them. Instead, she's busy sticking up for the expeditionary force's lame duck. I know what you mean. My own son was gravely injured during the attack. Some nights, he still wakes up screaming in the grip of panic. I'm okay, really. Why does this always happen to my favorite characters? They're either dying or going through some sort of torture. Like, I can't. The disgruntled voice moves away. Piran trembles with anxiety. You needn't worry about me. It's nothing I haven't heard before. And honestly, I can't blame them for their reaction. Were I in their shoes, I'd probably feel the very same way. The fire spreads through much of the castle, and so many people were hurt. Some of them lost loved ones, family. Piran struggles to maintain his composure, but his sorrow soon overtakes him, and a river of tears rolls down his cheeks. And what of me? I'm sitting pretty in a safety of shelter Her Majesty has so kindly provided, living in relative peace with my members of the Order of Heinrich, who aren't even my real family. My memories may have returned, but I just couldn't bring myself to tell them that we're not really family. I just don't have the strength. There was someone who helped me escape the Order. He convinced a group of complete strangers to treat me as if I was family, just to keep me safe. Piran! I can't! Thank you so much for the raid, Shy Plays. I'm like in agony. Like, I feel so bad for Piran right now. How was stream? It's bad enough I feigned endurance and deceived those gracious people who took me in, but now they've become a target of public scorn, all because of me. I'm such a fool, aren't I? Deep down, I know it. I know things would go smoother if I never showed my face at the banquet. That's really the most helpful thing I could do. I really can't right now. I just can't. Thank you so much for the raid. Have a good one. I've decided, I thought about it so often ever since the banquet was first announced, and I started to realize that for me, being there would be nothing but an obstacle to Her Majesty and the expeditionary force. Do you really think that's how everyone feels? The sharp but calm voice of a young man rings out as clean, perfumed scent spreads faintly through the air. Llewellyn? Yeah, Llewellyn. There's only like one guy in the castle. If it's not Piran, it's Llewellyn. Does he have the exact same animation as Piran? Hang on now. Because I've been looking for an animation for a while that matches Piran's. And this is better than the one I've been using. Mikey, it's been a while. How are you? I need to check what outfit this is. I didn't even know he had a similar animation as Piran for my outfit. Because for everyone who doesn't know, Piran's outfit doesn't actually match his animation. Like, I can show you. I can't figure out why they would do this. Of course, they don't have the outfit available. Greaves and gauntlets. Okay. But just for everyone who doesn't know what the animation looks like, he done. Okay, so I want you to take notice about, we're wearing the same outfit. This is Piran's animated outfit. This is not his animation. This is not his animation. I'm good. I've been lurking in your streams. Oh, thank you. See, Llewellyn's animation matches more of Piran's animation than Piran's outfit. Like, this is not logical. But if I can get Llewellyn's outfit, which is similar, like, it's really similar. I think I've been using the Academy one when I dress up like Piran to get the animation. The one I'm using right now is this one. She pulls out a book and like reads it. Which is still pretty close to Piran's, but I think Llewellyn's is even closer. Thank you so much for the hydrate. Rinzarak. I love water. Speaking of me loving water, I was thinking about adding a channel point redeem of something I don't like. Like, I don't like flavor packets. Like, if I want water, I just drink water. If I want juice, I just drink juice. So I was thinking about like putting water packets in the point redeems. Just so you can see me do something I don't like. A young man as fresh and fair as a willow tree. He seems a bit flashy, but wears a keen, mature expression. His eyes dance with mysterious colors like the faucets of precious gems. He is pretty, though. Before I met Piran, I thought Llewellyn was very pretty. Personality-wise, he's not my favorite. How are you enjoying your new PC? I'm enjoying it. It's nice to be able to watch YouTube again. Personally, like, that was hard. Llewellyn gives an acknowledging nod before shooting a disapproving glare at Piran. Why? Why are you hating on Piran? I thought at first to hold my tongue, but I'm sure she would have likely have something similar to say to you. I just can't ignore a lost sailor drowning in the sea of self-pity. Bro, leave Piran alone. But it's true, isn't it? Sure, there are a few people that try to treat me the same as before, but I can still tell they're uncomfortable around me. Their awkward smiling and laughter is hard to watch. And there are others who have started to keep their distance. That's what you've been doing too, Llewellyn, isn't it? As a figure often in the public eye, I have little choice in the matter. Believe me, I'm not pleased with the way things stand, and normally I'd think better than to intervene in what is clearly a very personal matter. However, Llewellyn's voice trails off, his eyes still carrying their looks of disdain. You see, this is why I don't like Llewellyn. Like, why can't he just be nice? It appears to me that you wish to run away just because you're uncomfortable with the situation. Do I have the right of it? If the sting you feel is because you understand their slander to have the ring of truth somewhere within, should you not work all the harder to correct those unfavorable impressions? Wallowing alone in self-pity like a hog in the mud will hardly improve your standing. It's like the old, you hear the muffled clanking of metal greaves from outside. Piran, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. It's time to head to the ballroom, but I couldn't find you anywhere. And I see Llewellyn is with you as well. I haven't seen you turn up in a while. Our little boy lost. I'm gonna strangle you. You're pretty but mean. Well, our little boy lost here was moping about not wanting to go to the banquet, so I decided to set him straight. Miss, the thing is, you don't want to attend the banquet, Piran? Did someone insult you again? Piran, how many times do I have to tell you it's not your fault? The more you let it get under your skin, the more emboldened those will be. Those who want to see you fall. You have to keep your chin up and if you show any signs of weakness. I'm afraid it will only make things harder for your family. Indeed, nursing personal resentments is a cherished human pastime. So the more I try to avoid it, the harder it will be for them to move past it. I suspect that, as long as our situation continues, they'll never be able to fully let go of their grudges. However, at this banquet, Her Majesty will make a case of rallying against our common enemy that no one can deny. She will make it crystal clear that the Order of the Black Moon that must be stopped, not the Order of Himeric, members of which themselves were victims of the Black Moon's plot on the first night. Piran, I know what's being asked of you isn't easy, but a time may come when you have to convince everyone of your innocence yourself. This was the path you chose, wasn't it? Didn't you decide to stay with us because you didn't want to see any more people suffer? No, you're right. Knowing what I do now, I can't stand by and watch their schemes unfold. That was my decision. I'm sorry, miss. I'm sorry for being so weak. Don't worry about it. Looking after you is part of my duty too. Though Piran seems to be a bit distressed, he manages to regain his composure. Did I hear that correctly? The Order of the Black Moon is to blame for these latest incidents, are they? Llewellyn's eyes shine with a subtle glow of interest as he taps a finger against his lower lip. Are you sure it's right for me to hear such juicy news before the banquet's even begun? Consider it an appetizer, Llewellyn. You surely know that Her Majesty wants to win you over. If I can't offer a few bits of information tantalizing enough to pique your interest, I'd call that a success. In fact, you've told me much yourself, wearing that disinterested expression you so often wear. Well, I see someone's been paying attention. Clearly, you've gotten the better of me this time, though I'd say you can't lay a full claim to setting the trap. The sight of someone wallowing in hapless self-pity calls up a bevy of unpleasant memories for me. I'll be quiet. At any rate, you should make your appearance before our absence is noted. You were the... What? You were... What? Sorry, English? You were on your way to the ballroom as well, weren't you, Llewellyn? If neither of you mind, may I tag along? Aww. The group I was accompanying seems to have already made their way inside. I suppose the prospect of waiting for me frittered away what little patience they have. It will, unfortunately, put me in a rather awkward position to be seen making my entrance with a lot of you, but Llewellyn sneaks you a meaningful glance, then flashes his faint smile. It's not all bad, I suppose. Besides, it's not like the Pontiff Court cares about my approval as long as they have the backing of Shin Salach. I bet any aristocrat here would have given their left foot to be seen entering the ballroom with the hero of Ulda. And here I am, getting in. Keep both feet. Huh? That, my friend, is what we call a bargain. I heard that since there's such a high-profile banquet, all the guests have to enter with an escort to confirm each other's identities. Still, I doubt you, of all people, would really need to have anyone vouch for you. It's technically a requirement for all the guests, though. So I guess we should stick to the rules. Bizarre things have been known to happen at the royal castle, and rarely have we had so many foreign dignitaries gathered here at one place. It isn't so strange that they'd want to see us enter in Paris. And guess what? You can still fake 2 people. The faking 1 is as easy as faking 2. If we're being honest. It is bothersome, but the rules are rules. Not that it much matters to me who I enter with. Likewise, I trust the 3 of you, so I have no particular preference. I feel the same way, so I guess it all depends on who he wants to enter the ballroom with. Piran! For sure! Speechless! Piran's both surprised and confused. You tell the group you'd like to enter with Piran. Knowing him to be a sincere and honest young man, it pains you to see him looking so sad and dejected. Accompanying you to the banquet might be just the thing to raise his spirits. What? Me? You want me to go with you? But why? Doesn't it make more sense to go with Miss Mirlad or Llewellyn? Good grief. Come now, Piran, is that any way to acknowledge a request from our friend here? Why not just stand up straight, smile, and say you're pleased to accept? Oh, no. This has nothing to do whether I like her or not. This truly isn't. It's just, it caught me off guard, you know? It's very kind of you, but then that's the kind of person you are. But surely you realize that if you go with me, the other aristocrats will be scandalized. That's all on me, though. It has nothing to do with anything you've done. So no matter what they say, you mustn't take it to heart. And thank you. Llewellyn was right. I'm glad to truly accept your offer. Piran's ears nicely glow red as he blushes. For your part, you're simply relieved to see that the gloom hanging over him seems to pass. The time to make your grand entrance is here at last. Head in with Piran, Merlid, and Llewellyn before your absence becomes conspicuous. Beneath, okay, yes. We really ought to get to the ballroom before we conspicuously late. Miss shouldn't be made to wait. Though I guess it's probably worried her by trying to hide in the first place. However it shakes out, I'm really glad we get to go into the ball together. Shall we get going? Yes. The crest of the kingdom is... Okay, yeah. We'll be able to make our entrance just in time if we leave now. We shouldn't keep the queen waiting any longer. Now, shall we be off? Go to the royal castle banquet. I'm really glad we get to make our grand ballroom entrance together. Shall we get going? Go to the royal castle banquet. Yeah. Oh, looks like everyone else is here already. It looks like we're the last to enter. This is the first banquet the kingdom has held in quite some time. It's supposed to be attended by a lot of esteemed dignitaries too. I guess that explains why so many familiar faces from the royal court are here. Piran remains nearby, chattering away. Still, he seems a bit uncomfortable, and the passing glances of others are making him self-conscious. Stretch? Thank you. Oh, honestly, that's what I needed. I'm like cracking every bone in my shoulders. I'm telling you, you don't know how much you need to stretch until you actually do it. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. I had a feeling it'd be like this. He wouldn't be looking at you like this if you had arrived with Miss Merliot or Llewellyn instead of me. I'm sorry, this is my fault. Reassure Piran. Silently nod your head? What kind of lunatic would say silently nod your head? Reassure Piran. You slowly turn to Piran and give a reassuring smile. You're so nice. Thanks, I really appreciate it. And not just this, but everything. It's because of all of you've done, I've managed to find the strength to keep on going, even after what's happened. Oh, I see Her Majesty over there, and there's Miss Myriad, and Llewellyn too. It seems like they've already taken their places. I guess we'd cut the chit-chat and pay our respects. Come on. Huron tugs at your arm, gently pulling you behind him as he ventures deeper into the hall. You're late. I didn't expect you to be tardy when the air is so thick with important discussions. My apologies, Your Majesty. It's my fault Rebecca was held up. No, the fault is mine. I should have planned ahead to ensure a timely arrival. I must confess, I shoulder a good share of the blame for her tardiness as well. I pray you'll excuse them, Your Majesty. I have my work cut out for me trying to discuss the kingdom's future as it is, and now I find those... She's always had a small head. What do you mean? Like physically? Or like her thought process? I have my work cut out for me trying to discuss the future. Oh, and hello, Asbergian. And now I find these three tripping over themselves to defend you. Still, our talks have been proceedingly as planned. I owe much of that success to the fact that a summary of crucial information was delivered along with each invitation. Admittedly, it was pleasant to be at least on the same page as everyone for once. I thank you for laying down the groundwork in advance. How her head is shaped. No, you're right though. You're right though. Her head is fairly small. Thank you again for exceeding the hand of hospitality to us, Queen. You've gathered your kingdom's most trusted individuals and leaders here, and then welcomed us with open arms in spite of what's come between us. I see clearly where we stand with you. I have to agree. We all know the Order of the Black Moon is to blame for what's happened here. We are not so blithe as to forget the role we played in these events. He winces slightly as Krung lets out a short, barking laugh. It seems to have been calling the past assault of Wrath Royal Castle. King of the Giants and Chief of the Elves, for the sincerity you've shown me, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. While I'm glad to see you do not deny your actions, I would ask you to look beyond them. While I'll not deny that your heartfelt apologies were a crucial part of the healing process, I did not invite you here simply to dwell on past mistakes. Much as we would wish it were not so, the Order of the Black Moon remains at large, working their fell schemes in the shadows. As we draw nigh to an end, there is no telling what kind of trials may hold for us. Perhaps the trials of greater than any we have faced so far. What could be worse than the rain of moonstones we just suffered? Indeed, when I think back on the sleepless nights were when fear held us in an icy grip, my heart burns with anger. What disgusts me most is the way they toyed with our memories. In preventing our very self-identity, they have trampled upon our very honor and pride. That we took arms against each other at the royal castle should shame us all. Even now, remembering it still stings. And beyond that, several cities, including the Commonwealth of Belvast. Wow, I've never slurred so much. I back off my waifu. Her head is cutely shaped. She's your waifu? I can't even argue with that, because she is waifu material. I slurred this Commonwealth of Belvast so hard. And beyond that, several cities, including the Commonwealth of Belvast, have been in danger of freezing over due to the massive tidal surges and a persistent bitter cold. One can't help but wonder the manner of tribulation they have planned for us next. We've recently received reports of something similar happening in Imeimaka. The missive describes strange black pits opening up in the ground, with sudden drops in temperature following soon after. That matches the intelligence we've received from the Order of Paladins. They spoke of bitter chill without cease, that have welled up from the ground and hung over Maka and the surrounding countryside. Yeah, at least when I was younger. You know, that I can't vibe with. Because now she's very tolerable, kind of cute. But I won't lie, in the past, I really disliked her. Like, really. Like, because she's just so... At least in the earlier, now she's much more mature and everything. But, like, in the past, she was kind of mean. And she would blame everything on the Malaysian. Like, everything. Like, oh, you didn't do this right. Or... No, I mean, she's 15 of age in 25. Oh. Well, you know what? She was 15. How many years ago? 2004 is when the game was released in Korea. So she was 15 in 2004. Are you sure you're not too young for her? Clears her throat, her expression grave as a myriad of thoughts churn in her mind. Hello, Fed! I've decided that all the incidents of this sort will be investigated, no matter how small. Who is this guy? Why does he look like this? I've decided that all the incidents of this sort will be investigated, no matter how small they may seem on the surface. I would not see my people subjected to further pain and suffering through my own inattentiveness. Not when we have sufficient resources that it might be otherwise. Let me lower this volume. It is kind of loud for no reason. He's styling. Is that how it works? Is what how it works? Yes, that's how it works in my mind. Human monarch. These black pits in the ground you speak of, do you believe them to be the work of the Order? I do. It is consistent in the nature with the trials they have poured upon us thus far. All of their schemes began with incidents that were, on the face of it, easy to overlook. There's truth in what you're saying. It could be that this phenomenon is already present on our continent, but that no one has taken notice of it as of yet. Our town has also recently been the target of an attack. Is that not so, Captain Mikey? Wait. Mikey. Is his name Mikey? Because I was thinking about this the other day. Is this Mikey? Because I call him Mikey. Because, like, K-E is the K sound, and M-A is the Ma sound, and I is the E sound. Mikey. Big Mike. So I was thinking, like, is this you? That's right, a horde of beasts that appeared without warning. Castania and I have already concurred that the Order is to blame. I want to shank him. Yeah, he's kind of... I wouldn't say he's a jerk. He's not as bad as Llewellyn. Well, is that really true? I like Muriel. She's pretty. You want to shank him. I can imagine you, like, in a prison cell, like, poking, like, shanking him. Ksenia and I have already concurred that the Order is to blame. Alas, we have no solid proof on which is the base of our suspicions, only our intuition. Your Majesty, do you think these problems could appear in our town too? Dora, maybe those strange monsters that appeared in the town are related to all of this somehow. I don't like him at all. Fair enough. It's already been brought up amongst the leaders. There's something else we've learned. After discussing the incidents, those beasts that appeared in our town are known to reside in a particular area of this continent. Indeed. Beasts like those described are frequently seen by adventurers in the Rundal dungeon. No, not Rundal. Please, not Rundal. I don't like Rundal. I see. Fascinating. The Rundal dungeon is located on the outskirts of Maka, which, as you all are now aware, is the very same city currently being plagued by the strange blizzard. You don't suppose those black pits that have been opening up, do you think they might be... Oh, what? What in the world? Your Majesty, are you unharmed? What is this, an earthquake? Wait a second, over there in the center. Rundal, that's a super long one, isn't it? The long single map? Yeah, literally. I don't remember it, like, too clearly. I just remember I don't like it. And in general, I don't like dungeons at all. Like, I think they're long and pointless. I don't care. I just AFK and make friends carry me. Oh yeah. That's life. It's the same as the black rift that opened in our town. And after that, it wasn't long until those beasts came pouring out of it, right? Come on out. Come on out, you fiends. I'll grind every last one of you into paste. That's brutal. Into paste? Stand back, everyone. It's dangerous to get too close. Steniad, please evacuate our guests. Yes, Your Majesty. I'll make sure our dignitaries come to no harm. Something's coming out. I'm not afraid of these chumps. That's the Order of the Black Moon. Castenia, please stand behind me. I'll cover you. Cultist scum! I'll tear your heads off with my bare hands. I enjoy them, but definitely get less fun when they drag on. Like Rundal or Funda, the one in Garrett Hills. Yeah. I know which one you mean. But actually, that one, you know, the one that starts with an F, is pretty. At least it's pretty. Rundal is pretty, right? It's surrounded by water. But I like the forest one of Fido? Is it Fido? I think it's Fido. Why did I switch my accent? No, it's Fido. My king, your rage is more than justified, but you must think first and foremost for your people. Please allow me to deal with this. If your wife finds out as much of the scratch on you as we return, I fear that there will be heck to pay. I urge you, brother, listen to Dara. Fundo's long and I can't see anything. I always said Fiod. Is that what you're saying? Fiod? Cause all I see is grass. Marlied. Orders, Your Majesty? Make sure those cretins pay for ruining my banquet. I'll be right here watching. Understood. Your will is my command. Piran, take cover. Take cover behind the soldiers. You too, Llewellyn. Llewellyn? What are you... Come now, Marlied. I'm more than capable of fending for myself. Yeah, why are you even suggesting a knight in full armor go run off? Fettuccine! Yes! Fettuccine! Fettuccine! Fiod. I admit I may be found lacking insofar as brute force is concerned, but surely you didn't think me defenseless for want of techniques more suited my strengths, did you? What? I've never read such a complex sentence. I admit I may be found lacking insofar as brute force is concerned, but surely you don't think me defenseless for want of techniques more suited to my strengths, did you? What? Defenseless for want? For want is like lacking, right? Defenseless, lacking of techniques. Oh, so he's saying like, you didn't even think I had a technique that was suited to my strength. That was kind of hard. Well, given the situation, if you're of right mind to fight, I won't stop you. Just don't hesitate to call help if you need it. Staff required. I forgot I took that off for the confessional. Come on now, leave me alone. Where's Piran? You know, I should have realized this earlier, but you see how Piran is like hesitating? Like doing this weird action? In Philia, remember when we had the fight in Philia? He was actually fist up. And I mentioned it. I was like, oh, it's so funny that he looks like he's about ready to fight now. And now I realize that was never Piran. So whenever I see his actions like that, I'm gonna be ready. When he's not doing the right animation for him, I'm gonna be... Cause now I'm like wondering, like I should have known ahead of time. King and Kong and the Elf Queen should have brought some sort of insane level of guards with them if they're so scared of General Cultists. King Krong was not afraid. He said he would bash their heads in, right? And the giants in general were not afraid. They were just like, let me do it. Mike, he was the one who was like, don't do that. Dang, disrespectful. You know, whenever I see these guys, I have like flashbacks to Seven Nightmares. That really gave me nightmares, I will not lie. But yeah, you're right. Is that the end of it? Those Black Moon curs, how dare they show their faces in Tara, the very seat of the kingdom, and in the royal castle no less. Hold on over there, your majesty, they're still coming. Keep your weapons at the ready, everyone. Watch for any sign of movement. What? What'll they throw at us next? Whatever it is, I'm ready. It's great that you're so enthusiastic, but remember not to drop your guard. My, what an irksome little party. You! Could it be that you failed to take notice of the new night that has already begun? What? How did he get here? The lot of you are easy marks. It would be laughable were it not so sad. But I suppose that it was bidden to crash your party so as to make certain truths crystal clear. I wanted to read that in a cool way, but it just did not come out. I'm gonna try again. The lot of you are easy marks. It would be laughable were it not so sad, but I suppose that's why I was bidden to crash your party, so as to make certain truths crystal clear. You clueless dimwits should be groveling on our hands and knees in thanks for the divine generosity you've been shown, but look at you, capsized and floundering in a sea of ignorance. Why? Marlian? Your breathing is ragged and your arms are trembling like branches in a gale. Who talks like that? Poke poke. Who talks like this? Like, if your friend was going through something and they're breathing hard, would you say your breathing is ragged and your arms are trembling like branches in a gale? Is that what comes to your mind? To speak in like literary language? Mikey, stop. You know that's not true. Nobody talks like that. I may not have powers in combat you do. The powers in combat you do, but even I can see that much plainly. On your guard, everyone. Keep your distance from that elf. Every line should have... You need to stop. You guys. Every line should have a comparison like that. What? What do you mean? You're saying that like every line should be said like that? I didn't expect such a rousing welcome. I figured this would be a little more than a light dust-up. You, answer me. Why? You look familiar. Have we met somewhere before? What? Speak plainly, and I'd better like what you have to say. It's just, your hair is quite fetching. For such a rare shade of azure. Azure, like the sky. It's a shame you'd be nothing more than a pretty face in a doomed crowd. Who dares? Are we quite done with this dull monologue? Llewellyn! Time is not a luxury we currently have. Let's cut down this riffraff and be done with it. Llewellyn has the right of it. Let's drive them out. By any means necessary. Ah! Right behind you. Okay, again. Is this one of the survive ones? Ugh. They're really gonna interrupt my hailstorm like this? Do not fireball me. You freaks. Why can I not cast anything? We just have to survive, right? Bruh. I'm tempted to just meteor this guy. Like, why wait this long 4-minute time? I can just beat him up. I'm not afraid. Yeah! That was a poor decision on my part. Meteor strike this guy. Keep him busy by knocking him out like weak branches in a gale wind. Stop! Stop! No, stop that. I can't. Just 1 second. Wait, this... You're saved by... I've seen your picture. That was close, Your Majesty. We've exchanged letters, but we've never met in person. Now, please drive away these unwanted guests. Meddling fools. It reminds me of Scooby-Doo. You know how he said, they say, I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. He reminds me of that. We'll fall back now. A rift has formed here. That shall suffice. Where's the gun? What gun? Shoot him right now. I like her design. She looks like literally just well better designed than some of the other characters. Just like, look at even Pentacast next to her. Like even her hair has like wispies. Look, compare. What a relief. I wasn't too late. This too is surely thanks to Limerick's guidance. You... Alright, listen well. Llewellyn, please assist those who have yet to evacuate. As you wish, Your Majesty. I shall find Siniad and aid her in ensuring all the guests make it safely. Make sure everyone knows to stay away for a time being. I believe this conversation will take place sometime. That was kind of funny, I won't lie. I haven't had this much fun in a while. I did my own hydrate there. That blue-haired priest looks like a villain from Gen 1, 2, or 3, Eris. Definitely villain material. You think so? I can't figure it out. Because the fact that she was definitely with Pontiff's Court kind of makes me think she's a villain. But she looks holy, you know? Like, I just said that holy is my vibe. Like, literally. So, like, I'm geared to think that she's a positive person, like a force for good. But who knows, you know, people can be like snakes even pretending to be good. I just needed to like gather my breath for a while. Eris was holy and evil, and now I assume they're all in this game. No, there are some people that are angelic that look angelic. I was about to use her as an example, but we don't even know. No one here looks particularly good or evil. Grim hydrate for Spider. Okay, yeah, that's the one that's like 3 hydrates, I think. Like 3 of those is 1 bottle. You guys are skeptical. Like, jeez. You guys do not like her. Have we played the story and we know she's evil? Is that why you guys are saying that? Because, like, I'm geared to believe she's good. like, look, she even has a veil. You guys know how I like veils? I have not. You guys are very against her. This person has so much thought put into their design. I like them. They look almost like Avalon. Even though they're random. Literally never seen her before. Just reminds me of the last holy lady in the game that I do remember. I have, and this was my reaction. You guys, stop. I'm sure she's good because you guys are so against her. She is Pontiff Court, which is, like, I won't be surprised if she turns out bad, but, like, I can't even think of any other holy person. Like, I can't even think of anyone who pretends to be good. Other than, like, Vayne. Vayne sucks. But he didn't pretend to be good either. The goddesses and like they're just in a different level. And I love Morgan. I'm a stan of Morgan. I'm trying to filter through the pictures and see if I remember anyone. Like, Starlet's probably the most holy looking person. The Divine Knights. All of the Divine Knights look and are holy-ish. They're literally Divine Knights. Huh, Starlet as well. As soon as I saw her. You didn't like Starlet? I knew Starlet was good. Stop! Sakina Fox, hello! I like that name, by the way. What is this emote? Oh, it's so cute! I had to like zoom in, but I love it. I see you're a streamer. What do you stream? Because like that's your emote, so you're affiliate. I started just running into running. I just started running. I'm supposed to talk to her, right? Attain. Just started running away from her. I don't know why I left the area. Thankies, and it's all over the place, but I'm picking Mabby up back after a while. Yay! Probably exactly why me and Merlin homies. Yeah, I should have talked to her. I don't know why I ran off. Her long, pale hair is moonlit dancing off a watery surface, and her pale green eyes, surrounded by a forest of lashes, convey an aura of mystery. The elaborate medal symbolizing the god of love that hangs around her neck is as heavy as the weight of her duties. Her rosy lips spread into a gentle smile. You must be her. That was a close call, but fortunate no one was hurt. I thought I made it clear that no one was to be admitted to this banquet without my invitation. Dang. The queen is like, nah, we're not having this. Erwin's voice takes on a frigid edge as she cuts the woman's greeting short. You have my deepest thanks for stepping in to defend both Her Highness and myself. But who are you? See there, the temple knights attend her. That can only mean every eye in the room is fixed on the woman as she steps to the fore. A slight flush colors her pale cheeks, as though uncomfortable with the sudden glut of attention. When she speaks, however, the unbending will couch in what? The soft tones of her voice is unmistakable to even the most wine-dulled ear. Have you ever heard that? Wine-dulled ear? Ah, but I did receive an invitation. It is understandable that you may not realize it, Queen, but it would have been a terrible oversight for you not to invite me. I imagine you simply didn't expect me to accept. I, Attain, Pontiff of the Order of Limerick. It pleases me to make your acquaintance, Queen Erwin. It is my usual custom to avoid contact with the outside world as to focus on my duties to kindle the holy flame. However, recent events have made it necessary that I come forth to aid you and the rest of the world. I don't think I've ever heard the word couched. Thank you. Thank you. Because I don't know if it's because I can't English or because the word is just not used like that. Need to do a backflip challenge. Do it. Do it. So the woman is none other than Pontiff of Limerick. It appears that they were standing in the presence of greatness. Back when Her Majesty was crowned queen, I heard it passing about the appearance of a young lady blessed by Limerick, but I never thought I'd one day be in the same room as her. A wave of incredulous whispers ripples through the crowd, but the room immediately falls silent when Erwin raises her hand. Ah, so you're the Pontiff. I've heard so much about you. Simping. No, for real. Like, everybody was like, no, we're not doing this. And then suddenly, Owen's like, yeah, I never thought I'd be in the same room as her. Swoon. Your presence here bespeaks the matter must be urgent indeed to reveal yourself so publicly. Let us not waste time on idle pleasantries, but get right to the heart of the matter. Your insight and understanding are much appreciated, considering the latest ambush on the royal castle, as well as all that else that has late befallen the world. We cannot afford to waste precious time in discussion of trivial matters. Deep below the grounds of Pontiff Court lies a massive temple. Aside from Corinth, Pentecost, and myself, few are allowed to enter that sanctum. Several days lost. You know, I do believe she's a good person. Similar to Colette from Tales of Symphonia. Like, just someone who is just, like, overall just so good. So even while Corin and Pontiff are a little, what's his name? Pentecost? Even though they're a little sketchy, I think she's good and she really means well. And I love her outfit. Jeez. Okay. I do think she's good. I think she's good. I'm gonna like solidify my vote. I still want to shoot her. Dang, bruh. Several days later, I lost my track of time and fell asleep in my chamber of prayer. It was then that I found myself witness to an exceedingly strange dream. The ground beneath my feet cracked and splintered in every direction. All things, as far as my eyes could see, were swallowed up by the flames as black as pitch. Pontiff Atene stops short for a moment, shuddering under the weight of her memory. As I stood gazing upon this horrid scene, paralyzed with terror, I heard the voice of Limerick speaking to me. He told me that it was our common future to which I bore witness, and that if we were to avert it, the time has come for us to shed our hostilities and petty differences and work together as one. Since ancient times, those who have been vested with the greatest blessing of Limerick and raised to the high seat of the church have oft seen in their dreams portents and premonitions of the future. Mayhap you recall the Book of Turnanog's Doom. It is a book collecting the apocalyptic prophecies received through the dreams of the first Pontiff of Limerick. It is through such foreknowledge that we see how Limerick, who loves and cherishes each of us, has chosen to prepare us for the dangers to come. Oh, did this book prophecies foretell this debacle as well? Xenia brings a good point. Unfortunately, it is not. Atene shakes her head sadly in response to the harsh, pointed question. What I saw were glimpses of a future yet to be. What has taken place here may well be a harbinger of future tribulations to come, or perhaps to an end of all things. But should we stand against such darkness, through Limerick's infinite grace, I have been shown how these terrors may yet be swayed. Her pale green eyes slowly scanned the rift that appeared within the castle. A haze of black fumes wastes ominously from its dark depths. Atene's eyes the black rift from the icy glare, ruminating through her rose. Her hand emerges clasping something that shines with a bright, ruddy light. The warmth it radiates can be felt even at a distance. This holy flame burns with the light of Limerick, and is only such an eternal beacon that can light the darkness of the abyss. That's definitely a holy flame, except much bigger than the others I've seen before. We haven't seen Limerick yet, have we? No. I know we've seen a few of the gods. Yes, we have not seen Limerick. We haven't even seen Hamerick, for that matter. And neither have we seen whoever the divine knights. They have their own group that they follow. I'll tell him something, right? I tried to find it, but I didn't see it. Maybe it's in one of the Divine Knight skills? Crusader? Tell me how I clicked the wrong thing so many times. Yeah, it doesn't say. That's definitely a okay. The Holy Flame of Limerick can be only enkindled by the most esteemed of our order. The Holy Pontiff, the size and potency of the Holy Flame set out into the world are, unfortunately, diminished in their brilliance once they leave the hands of she who lit them. This is why Her Holiness spends her days in prayer and meditation at the underground sanctum. Her attention and energies are focused at the creation of holy fire. And you are saying your holy fire is capable of neutralizing an unwelcome phenomenon, Atene? I am, but we must hurry. The rift could vanish again at any moment. This rift is a twisted fracture, torn into our world, one by one with malignant... Please forgive my English. This is a rift and a twisted fracture, torn into our world by one with malign intent. If we allow it to vanish here, it will not be gone from the world, but will soon reappear in some other place, pouring out an endless bowl of suffering upon others. But with my power alone, the most I can do is seal it for a time to prevent it from moving to another place. Malign. No, I'm not reading that. It falls upon brave soul to enter the rift and use the great holy flame to burn out the corruption at its source. You note a twinkling in her mysterious eyes as her gaze moves over you, then comes to the rest on Iran. And that is why I've come to you, Queen Erwin. The time for talk is past. Action is what we now require. The longer the rift is allowed to exist, the greater the danger it poses. I am afraid I already wasted too much time wringing my hands over whether to present myself at this banquet and to attempt to convey the seriousness of this matter to you and your guests. Had I only taken action a little sooner, this incident might perhaps have been avoided altogether. My inaction pains me deeply. We must not make the same mistake again. Her delicate hands tremble as she clasps them close to her chest. She carries herself with dignity, but it's obvious that she's not used to speaking before such a large audience. Her raw earnestness, however, serves only to make her message all the more compelling. Erwin spends a silent moment looking between where Etain stands before her and the yawning rift in the middle of the castle floor. Your words are timely and true, Etain. Now is neither the time nor place for a debate between the supporters of the royal regime and the Pontiff's court. All must act for the sake of the people. Now that we have confirmed the Order of the Black Moon's hand in this recent incident, I am tasking you with a new directive in your capacity as leader of the expeditionary force. Effective immediately, you are to assist the Pontificate in whatever is necessary to permanently close that rift and remove it from my castle and my kingdom. Behind the steely resolve set in purple eyes is the slightest twinge of fear, perhaps for the kingdom or perhaps for you. First, you decide you must take a closer look at the rift, as Erwin asked. I think now is the moment you've all been waiting for. The gotcha. Because now we left at a pretty good spot in the story, I think. Ah, shoot. I have to open up this poll again. I can't remember the name. Is it? I have to check again. It's Hyperspace Aurora Box. I'm gonna put it for a 1-minute timer, so everyone vote if you have a preference. The Gachapanum. I like that outfit. We'll vote. I hope I can get any of the special outfits, to be honest. If you guys want to see how it looks like, I'll put it on. Hold on. Let me open up the media news. My brain trying to load OBS. Browser. No. Screen share. Display capture. No. Game capture. Window capture. And it should be Chrome. Yes. Okay. Yes, the ocean one has the OP titles. I don't know if it's for mages specifically. Oops. Open the wrong tab. Okay, so the open ocean, I'll just give like a rundown. Oh, the vote already ended. Hyperspace. We're interested in hyperspace. Okay. Let's do hyperspace. Let me turn this off. I don't know if it I don't know if it shows my payment information if I keep it on. Hold on. Let me just hide that. Actually, it's fine. It doesn't show that. For next time. And then I have to log in and log out. I need that money tab. Give me that money tab. Okay, now it should be in my shop. Yay! Wish me luck, you guys. In Mabby, I think I have one of the... I have pretty good luck in Mabby, actually. I'm not even gonna pretend. I have pretty good luck. Not always, but we see. Chic tech... What? Tech chic compound bow. Pretty interesting. I'll take that out. Look at that. Crusader skill. Garbage. Starlight's birdcage. Already got it. Training potion. Garbage. Potent fine powder. Dye. A Loon classic formal suit. Female. That seems interesting. Fixed dye. Advanced skill training. A Loon baseball club headband. Male. This is the last one. Okay. This is gonna be the special outfit. I just know it. It don't look bad though. It don't look bad. Let's try things on. First, let me put this down. I believe this is the only thing I can actually try on. The lack of animation. The lack of animation is what bothers me about this outfit. And the bow. I also got this bow. Ooh, that looks pretty. I like it. Pretty nice. Get bare hand stance. I think I do have it. Let me check how much this costs. This bow. I can't imagine it would be a lot. Its real price is 500,000. Not bad. Not bad, not good. And let me check how much this is. I can't actually wear it, so I can't try it on for you guys, but not bad. Why this price? 666. Yeah, it's pretty okay. It was not the best gacha by any means. I would have preferred at least the animated outfit. You know, even if I can't wear it. Why did it have to be the Loon version? You can use enchant training pot. I am not interested in any of the training potions. But thanks for coming, everyone. It was really fun. To max your enchant skill later. I have no use for enchant. I'm gonna find someone to raid out to. Does Kick have raid? I don't actually know how to operate Kick at all. I'm on Kick too. Yeah, that was a botch. I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to find somebody. Ooh, there are some people on today. the only person I know is playing Mabi, and that I've personally talked to them is Yaratos. So we're gonna raid out to Yaratos. Iratos. I need to max all skills is an undying urge. I will not max. You know, I'm okay with just not being max. No, thank you for coming. It was so lovely to meet new people today, and it was fun. This target channel has disabled raids. Why? I raided him before, but now he doesn't want raids. Okay. Kodevu, I guess? Kodevu. Stretch and hydrate. Yay! They hate me. No! No! Thank you so much for the stretch. One for the road. It is always shocking when I'm the only Mabi person on. So it's just me, Raze, and Kodu. Kode? Kodevu? Don't even know his name. Slash raid. Kodevu. Yay! Raid has been created. It was so wonderful to meet you all, and I can't wait to see you guys again. See you next time. Bye. I'm not going. Okay? I'm staying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Miro-sama, Tsukino Fox, Mikey, Ronnie. Who else? Loot, who was lurking. I'm trying to remember everybody who showed up. Asbergian, Sai Plays, RJ Freegy, Temmie, and Plus. Plus was here from New Zealand. And then there was someone who gave me a hydrate. Rin Zark. I'm sorry. But yes, thank you everyone. Let me drink that water. I forgot about the hydrate.